One of the things that I had to learn, and it came early in my life, started coming really early, because I don't think you can make progress without this, is to learn how to be honest with yourself, about yourself. There's a scripture I keep coming back to. It says, "If you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Now, it's not just hearing the truth that changes you, it's not just knowing the truth that frees you, it's the truth you're willing to sit with, the truth you're willing to act on, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs you something. And here's what I've noticed. In 2026, in this era of highlight reels, curated timelines, and everybody performing a version of their life for an audience, most people are the most dishonest with themselves, not with their boss, not with their spouse, not even with their friends, with themselves. And that one blind spot, it's costing you everything: your peace, your money, your future, your identity. So today, we're going to talk about it. No fluff, no filler, just straight truth. Stay with me. Here's the thing nobody tells you: self deception isn't stupidity, it's not weakness, it's actually protection. Your brain, your brilliant survival wired brain, is designed to protect your ego. It's designed to keep you comfortable because discomfort historically meant danger. So, when reality starts knocking on the door with a bill you can't pay, a relationship that's draining you, a career that's going nowhere, your brain doesn't say, "Let's face this." It says, "Let's explain this away." I'm just going through a rough season. The economy is bad for everyone. I would have been further along if people hadn't held me back. Now, some of those things might even be partially true. But here's the question I want you to sit with right now. What part of where you are is a result of decisions you made? Not the economy, not your parents, not your ex, not your boss, you. Because I'll tell you something. In 2026, opportunity has never been more accessible in human history, and yet more people feel stuck, financially anxious, and emotionally lost than ever before. Why? Because access to opportunity doesn't matter if you can't be honest about what's blocking you from taking that opportunity. And what's usually blocking you is you. A habit you won't quit, a skill you keep saying you'll learn, a conversation you keep avoiding, a number in your bank account you keep not looking at. That last one, we're going to come back to that. Let me be real with you for a second. I've been there. There was a point in my life where I had a whole story I was telling myself about who I was and where I was headed. Confident story, convincing story. I could have sold it to you no problem. But the actual scorecard didn't match the story. The bank account said something different. The relationship said something different. The mirror, not the one on the wall, but the internal one, said something different. And I had to make a choice: keep the story or choose the truth. And what I found is this: the moment you stop protecting the story and start facing the truth, something shifts. Not immediately, not painlessly, but it shifts. Because clarity, even painful clarity, is power. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. You cannot build on a foundation you won't inspect. And in 2026, with AI changing industries, with inflation still squeezing households, with mental health at a crisis point for young adults across this country, the luxury of self deception is one you literally cannot afford anymore. So here's what I want you to do. This isn't an exercise I'm giving you to skip. Actually, do this. Ask yourself three questions. Right now, sit with them. 1. If I were advising a stranger who had my exact life, my exact habits, my exact financial situation, what would I tell them to change immediately? 2. What is the thing I know I should be doing that I keep finding reasons not to do? 3. Where am I spending money I don't have on things that don't build anything to impress people who don't matter to me? That third question is where most people start squirming. Good, that means it's working. Because personal development without financial honesty is just motivational content that doesn't pay your rent, and I'm not going to do that to you. Here's the state of where we are heading into the back half of 2026. The average American household is carrying more credit card debt than any point in the last 2 decades. Personal savings rates are near historical lows, and somewhere between 60 and 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, including people making six figures. Now, hear me clearly, that is not a judgment, that is a symptom. A symptom of a culture that taught you how to earn money but never how to think about it. A culture that sold you lifestyle upgrades before it sold you financial literacy. A culture where your social media feed is full of people living the life and your credit card statement is full of you trying to keep up. And the honest question, the one most people won't ask themselves, is this: is the life I'm presenting on the outside matching the financial reality on the inside? For too many people, the answer is no. And that gap between the image and the reality costs you peace. It costs you sleep. It costs you options. So let's get practical. Let's get real. Honest money. Truth one, you need to know your number. Not your income, not what you wish you made, your actual net monthly cash flow, what comes in, what goes out, what's left. Most people don't know this number. Most people are scared to look. And that fear, that avoidance is exactly what keeps you stuck. Open the app, look at the statement, add it up. I know it might not be pretty, but you can't navigate without a map. And your bank account is your financial map. Honest money truth 2, your subscriptions are lying to you. Right now, in 2026, the average American is paying for somewhere between 4 and 8 subscriptions they either forgot about or barely use. Streaming services, fitness apps, software tools, boxes that show up at your door. Each one is small. That's how they get you. $9.99 here, $14.99 there, $7.99 somewhere else. Individually, nothing. Collectively, $150 a month, sometimes 200, gone without a decision, without a moment of intention. That's money that could have been a starter emergency fund. That's money that could have been going into a Roth IRA. That's money that could have been yours. Honest money. Truth. 3. Debt is a behavioral problem, not just a math problem. This is the one people don't want to hear. Yes, interest rates matter. Yes, income matters. Yes, the cost of living is real. But a lot of the debt people are carrying, the credit card debt especially, debt isn't from emergencies. It's from decisions made in emotional states. It's from boredom, from social comparison, from wanting to feel something. And I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to tell you the same way you got into it, you can get out of it. With decisions made consistently, over time. Start with one card, minimum payments on everything else. Every extra dollar goes to that one card. You knock it out, then you roll that payment to the next one. It's not glamorous. It's not a hack. It's just math and discipline working together. Honest money. Truth 4. Your future self is a real person who is going to live in the consequences of your present decisions. In 2026, if you're 28, your future self is 58 in 30 years. That person will either have options or they won't. They'll either have a cushion or they'll be working because they have to, not because they want to. The difference between those two versions of you is not luck. It's whether or not you started putting $100 a month, even $50 a month, into a vehicle that compounds. Time is the asset most people waste because it's invisible until it's gone. You want to be honest with yourself? Be honest about the fact that time is working either for you or against you right now. There is no neutral. Let me go a little deeper here because the money stuff is practical, but there's a layer underneath it that if we don't address, none of the practical stuff sticks. And it's the story. Every single one of us is walking around with a story, a narrative about who we are, why we are the way we are, and what we're capable of. Some of those stories are empowering, and some of them The ones we don't examine are cages we built ourselves and then forgot we were living in. I'm not good with money. That's who. That's a story. I've always been the person people walk over. That's a story. My family was never wealthy, so I probably won't be either. That's a story. I work hard, so I deserve to treat myself. Sometimes that's a story used to justify avoidance. Here's what's true about stories: they feel like facts, they don't behave like facts. A fact is, I currently have $800 in savings. A story is, I'm bad with money and I'll always be broke. The fact you can work with. The story will work you. And in this era where content is algorithmically designed to keep you emotionally activated, where every platform profits from your insecurity, where comparison is the air we breathe, you have to become ruthlessly conscious about which stories you're accepting and which ones you're writing for yourself. Because if you don't write your own story, the algorithm will write it for you. And the algorithm's version of your story ends with you buying things you don't need, chasing a life that doesn't belong to you, and wondering why you feel empty despite being constantly entertained. Okay, let's not just diagnose, let's build. Because honesty without direction is just misery. I'm not here to make you feel bad, I'm here to help you get free. So, what does radical self honesty actually look like in practice? It looks like auditing your time the same way you'd audit your money. For 1 week, not forever, just 1 week, track where your hours go. Not where you think they go, where they actually go. Most people are shocked. The 2 to 4 hours a day on short form video, the passive scrolling disguised as relaxing, the hours spent consuming content about the life you want instead of building toward it. Time is currency, and most people are spending it on things that have a 0% return. It looks like having the honest financial conversation with yourself or with your partner. If you're in a relationship and you and your partner have never sat down and actually looked at your combined finances with honesty, that's a conversation that needs to happen, not as an attack, as a team. Two people building together with full information, that's power. Two people building together with each one hiding or minimizing their financial reality. That's a ticking clock. It looks like identifying your one real bottleneck. Most people have not one problem, but one dominant problem that's holding everything else back. For some people it's spending, for some it's income. They've trimmed everything they can and they need to earn more. For some it's a skill gap. For some it's a relational dynamic, a person in their life who drains them financially or emotionally or both. What's your bottleneck? Be honest. Name it. Write it down. Because once you name it, you can address it. Until you name it, it runs you, and it looks like asking for help without shame. With all the free resources available, YouTube channels, financial literacy, content, community programs, mentors, books, podcasts, there is no excuse for staying ignorant about your money or your mind. But you have to be willing to say, I don't know what I don't know, and I'm ready to learn. That's not weakness. That's probably the most courageous sentence you can say. I want to leave you with this. There is a version of you, a future you who made the decision, who looked in the mirror, not the social media mirror, the real one, who said, okay, this is where I am, this is what I've been doing, and it's not working. So I'm going to change. Not dramatically, not perfectly, just directionally. That version of you went from knowing to doing. That version of you stopped waiting for the right moment and realized you are always either drifting or deciding. And drifting is a decision too. That version of you started putting $50 away when they said they had nothing. Started learning about index funds before they had money to invest. Started having the honest conversation before the crisis forced it. That version of you chose clarity over comfort. And clarity, even when it hurts, is where your real life begins. Look, I'm going to say this simply. You don't need more motivation. You need more truth. You don't need another person to believe in you. You need to be the person who believes in yourself enough to be honest with yourself. And that starts today, not Monday, not next month, not when life settles down. Today, ask the hard questions, look at the real numbers, name the real obstacle, take one real step, because everything else, the clarity, the peace, the financial progress, the version of your life you keep seeing in your head but haven't built yet, all of it gets easier the moment you decide to stop lying to yourself. That's it. That's the message. If this hit you somewhere real, share it with somebody who needs it. Drop a comment. Tell me what you're going to do differently this week. I read them, and if you're new here, welcome to Truth and Triumph. We don't do hype here, we do honest. Subscribe us and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.